Like, I wish I had one of those jobs where I could work from home and all I gotta do is put on a nice shirt and keep my pajamas on at the bottom. Like, but
gotta get dressed and go out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotta go out into the world, people coughing and stuff. Like, and you know what? I'm gonna try to make this a rule. This is the last time I'm gonna complain about this coworker on here. But one of my coworkers, the same one I want to say I mentioned last week, he has this horribly obnoxious cough. And it's to the point where I want to be like, I need for you to stop doing that.
This is really good. This is like adult lemonade.
Drink your drink. I got water. I got some Kirkland brand water today.
Some good juice.
But yeah, this coworker, and then he has the worst immune system. Like, he always sick. And it's just like, dude, like, completely undependable. But the cough, I can't with that cough. Like, it's to the point where, like, he's already at the edge of my patience. And you know I have a lot of patience. Yeah. A lot of patience. Like, I'll sit there and just let somebody just act up for a long time. But it sounds like he's forcing it out.
Why? Does he want, like, the pity points or something? He's like, I might be sick, guys, so I might not come in tomorrow.
Maybe. Because he keeps bringing up the fact that he had COVID. And I was like, dude, me too.
Me three?
Same time you did. Same time you did. No, like, it rolled through my job. It rolled through. And me, him, and at least 2 other people had it at the same time. And then another coworker had it right afterward. Like, she basically overlapped with us. So it's like, you ain't special. We all had it. Well, not all of us, but, you know, like, a good handful of us had it.
But I will say, in his defense, not that I'm trying to defend anyone, but some people, there are some long-term COVID haulers. Is he a long-term COVID hauler? Maybe. But is he also just using it as an excuse? Can also really definitely happen. And it's like, if you really
I don't think he's a long-term hauler, because he doesn't have any of the symptoms anymore. It's every time he's sick, like, quotation mark sick, is something different. Honestly, I just don't think he likes doing manual labor, which I understand that, but if you don't like doing manual labor, you should get a job where you're not doing manual labor.
Yeah. No, for sure. One honey, but, you know, if he's able to get away with it over there.
That's the part, that's the kicker right there. Like, I don't know what my boss's plan is for him, like, because I'm not really supposed to know, because it has nothing to do with me directly like that. But I missed like 4 or 5 lunches just last month.
Whoa.
And almost all of them were his fault directly.
Yeesh.
And it's like, it's cool because I get paid, an extra hour.
But it's nice to eat. God damn it.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, one of those days, it was literally me and the closing cash, because we've had a couple of call outs. Yeah. Because we were supposed to have another person on floor too, and they just happened to call out that it was just a bad day. One day, me and the closing cashier, because I was closing that day, neither of us got a lunch, and it was just us by ourselves from like 4:30 to close. So I'm just like, that was a long shift.
That sucks.
Without the breaks that we're supposed to have. Like, it's like, it's cool when I look at my paycheck, but in the moment, like,
it's not.
And then at the same time, it's like, it's expected. Like, I expect for him to not be able to fulfill the duties that he's supposed to fulfill, and because we're in the same position, so he's getting paid the same amount as me, and so I just think it's not fair at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
But I just have to wait. Everything happens for a reason, and the time that it's supposed to. Honestly, I just gotta wait. Like, obviously, he ain't gonna be able to keep this job, and I'm never someone who's like, oh, somebody should be without a job, but, like, it's obvious that he knows he's not doing a good job. We all know he's not doing a good job, but at the same time, he's not taking any steps to do better or get a new job. So.
Oh, wow. Well, huzzah. Hopefully.
So, yeah, it's been busy.
That sucks, though. No, like, I can definitely, like, I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, You're working with someone, maybe they're getting paid more, maybe they're getting paid the exact same amount, and they're lagging it, and, like, nothing happens to them. But as soon as you start lagging, the moment you start doing something, all of a sudden, like, it's a fucking shit show. Like, oh, my God. And it's just like, bro.
Oh, yeah. If that happens, if something happens and I'm in the wrong and I immediately called on it, I'm going to have a fit. They haven't seen me have a fit before, because I'm always just like real calm, even if I'm irritated about it, like, I'm usually really calm about it. But if say if I'm late or I call out, because I'm like always there. I rarely call out. And somebody decides to say that it's a problem, I'm gonna have a fit. I'm gonna close the office door and we're gonna have a conversation about it, because I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Yeah, it's not fair. And I don't know. Sometimes in my head, I just want to know, like, what makes people think it's okay for them to tell you something, but not the other person who probably did the same or worse? You know what I mean? And it, to me, it's just really annoying. Like, okay, I know I have a nice face. I know I have a nice personality. I know I'm very chill, but don't come at me like that, because you got me fucked up. Like, I'm nice. But like,
yeah, well, I think that's one of the issues. Like, you were being someone who's very, very like nice and approachable, and then me, someone who's quiet. I feel like sometimes in certain situations, not this one, but in some situations, people think that equates to being a pushover.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. Like, I'm quiet, and I'll usually let a few things slide. But if it's bothering me, I'm gonna say something. Yeah. You're not gonna tell me what to do. You're not gonna step over me. That's not it. And then the same with you. You being, very nice, approachable. You keep a very positive energy about you all the time. You do. And it is funny. I'll talk about it afterward. I feel like the same. Like, people be like, "Oh, she's nice. She's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a problem for her." And you have to let them know it is a problem for me. We're not gonna do that. That's not the direction we're going.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to. You gotta let people know. But I do feel like when you're, a quiet person or, super upbeat, chill person, people always think like, oh, I can do whatever. No, you cannot. Yeah. You cannot do whatever. It's not going to work.
You know what's funny? Like, I was working when I was doing the COVID swab, right? We have certain procedures we're supposed to go by, right? And you know what? If other nurses don't want to go by those procedures, that's a them problem. Like, I'm doing what I'm going to do to make sure that my tests come out of quality and with no issues as much as possible. So we have, like, all COVID tests are different. And in my place, I'm supposed to, do, like, a 30-second, swabbing so, all the secretions could get into the mixture so he get tested. And this lady had the audacity to tell me that I take too long when I swish. She's like, "Oh, everyone else is kind of swish goes." I'm all like,
they just stab in the nose, stab out.
And they're like, so, and it's just like, and they're like, sometimes like, "Oh, you count too long." And I'm all like, you can't count 15 seconds too long. Like, I'm not gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah,
like
50 seconds is 50 seconds.
15,
Oh, 15.
Yeah, 15. 15 and seconds. It's like, I'm not gonna count like fucking, because like, what the fuck is that? You count 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So, and even if I time that shit, that is 15 seconds. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, what is that? That is
not 15 seconds.
Exactly. And it's all like, that's why a lot of people always come in, they're all like, "Oh, well, I had issues with this." And it's always the same thing. Like, either you didn't go high enough or you didn't do it long enough, or the person who has your shit isn't doing it correctly. Because I go in there and I start counting to 30 seconds, making sure that my shit's, well incorporated. And then she's like, "Oh, there's people in line. I'm like, they can wait. Yeah. I'm counting. I'm going to do my shit right. If someone else doesn't want to do that, that's fine." And it's funny because this other nurse came in and she's all like, "What does she expect?" I'm like, she just wants me to push in, push out, and go. I'm like, that's not how it's going to work. I'm not going to have any issues with my shit. I'm all like, And because we've already had issues.
Can't they connect them to you? Your tests? Like, they don't put like your, like, an ID number or something to be like, "Oh, like, Hyra did this test, and this test." Like, there's no connecting them to the nurse that does.
No, not for these. There are a lot of tests that definitely, like, who gave you your procedure or whatever. But for this, it's not that. It's just, it's a lot, I want to say, for this. But at least I know that I'm doing the best I can. I know I'm following all the rules and all the procedures. So if it's an issue, it's most likely the person who's doing it, like, because with us, they do their own COVID test. Like, we don't put it up their nose, nothing. They do it themselves unless they absolutely need help and can't do it for themselves. Then we'll step in and do it. But
I can't do it for myself. The person, you got to swap me. Like, when I went, like, the person did it because I can't do it.
You know what? It really depends on what
I'll probably panic.
It really depends on what nurse you get, because with us, it's a really big thing. Like, the only people we'll swab are people who are physically, like, disabled and can't do it, or mentally disabled and can't do it. If you are an adult, you understand things, and you work for them, then obviously you're capable of doing it. And if it's just you don't want to do it, then you'll have to go somewhere else. But there are some nurses who are very nice and they will do it for you still, even though they're not supposed to. Like, if you came to me, I would do it because I know you. But if someone else came and they're like, can you do it for me? I'd be like, you're an adult.
Yeah, like if I had to do like another one for whatever reason, even though like I've gotten my vaccinations now, I would try to figure out your schedule so you can do it for me.
No, yeah, I would definitely do it. But you know what's funny?
I'd be like, what day are you free? Because I need you to swap me.
I'm like, pull through. But no, it's funny because we'll have people and it's like, it's mostly husbands. I have never seen a woman do it, but usually husbands will go with their wives and have their wives swap them because they can't do it. And it's just like, you're a grown-ass man.
I can't judge him.
I can't.
For being babied because I want to be babied.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'd be hypocritical for me to be like, oh, wow. Because if I had a boyfriend or a husband and I needed to go get swabbed and he was going to do it, I would let him. Man, one time I got a paper cut and I let the pharmacist put a Band-Aid on my finger at work.
That's so sweet. You know, I would do it. You know what I mean? I would do like little things like that. But I don't know. For the COVID woman, I just think it's so hilarious. Like, because most of them have been like really like fit guys, you know what I mean? Fit guys, like, it's funny while they wait, sometimes they'll be over there fucking broing out and shit like that, and then next thing you know,
and then they're like, babe, can you do it?
Yeah. It's just like, dude.
I love that.
And it's like, yeah. But, you know, I just think it's funny. For me, it's not a problem. Like, you have your girlfriend, y'all gotta do what you gotta do. But, like, if you don't have her, I ain't gonna do it for you either, unless I know you. But it's just, I just think it's funny. But yeah, like I remember she was telling me that we had another nurse who came up and she's really cool. She's a nurse practitioner and stuff like that. And we were talking and she like, you know, I started laughing. I was like, oh, you know, I'm just going to keep doing my procedure because I'm not going to have any issues. If it's too long, the person can wait. I'm not going to rush because of.
Yeah, it's just 15 little seconds.
Yeah, I'm all like, it takes less than 2 minutes, you know, they can wait. And for me, because, you know, I'm not going to be rude because we're the same people there all the time. Me and her, we get along, but it's just when she does that it does get on my nerves. But, you know, I got to pick and choose my battles. It's not that big of a deal. But I do tell her, I'm like, they're going to wait. I'm like, I'm not going to rush any faster. This is how I'm doing it. You know, it's fine. And then the nurse practitioner, she's just like, what the hell's up with that? She's like, she's not trained. She's not a nurse. Why is she talking shit? Like, there's no, it's funny. And I just had to tell her, I'm like, you know what? Just because I told her, I'm like, when you're the person who's manning all these people, you get kind of nervous because, you know, people get impatient, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, it is what it is. You're going to have to wait. You've gone to a clinic before. You've gone to a hospital. You've had to wait. This is the same thing. Sometimes, like, you know, there's problems. Like, we have swabs. They'll drop it. I have to go get them a new one. Sometimes they'll have nosebleeds. So it'll take longer. You know, like, there's things that happen that will take longer. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. So it's just one of those things where it's all like, it is what it is. Don't let these people intimidate you because at the end of the day, they need that test. And they're going to wait to get that test because if they're not cleared, they can't go to work. So.
Or wherever they go.
Or wherever they're going to go, definitely. So it was just funny because she was doing it too because she knows the procedure. And it's funny because me and her doing it separately and we're both finishing at the same time. And we're all like 30 seconds, 15 seconds. And the lady's over there like. And it's like, we can't make time go faster, ma'am.
She's trying to speed run it.
I'm like, we can't make time go faster. We are human beings and we're trying the best we can. Just tell them, hold tight. Because at least they're in air conditioning. They're inside the fucking gym. Like, hold up. Like, Jesus. Definitely. Like, I always think it's funny. Like, it's funny because I think she really thought that I was going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll hurry up. I'm sorry. Blah, blah. And I told her. And
she probably did.
And I just started laughing. I was all like, I'm still going to do 50 seconds. This is how I was trained. If you can tell them to come retrain me and tell me that I can do a shortcut or whatever, then I'll do it. But until I get told, I'm just going to keep following the procedures that we need to do. And she just looked at me and I just walked away. But it's weird. Like, how's all like, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't ready to go full bitch that day, but.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Oh, man.
What else was I... There was something that I said that reminded me of something that I wanted to tell you, and I have forgotten.
I'm sorry.
I need to keep like post-its. Well, I have my notebook. I should write those things down. Dang, what was it? I don't know.
Man. So, fun fact. Because yesterday, Carlos and I got, Carlos, I, and Dolores. Or is it Carlos, Dolores, and I?
It's that one.
Yeah, thanks. Anyway, we went to Taco Bell, and I got the nacho fries. And it just reminded me. I remember that I keep wanting to tell you this, but I keep forgetting. But now that I just ate the nacho fries, do you know how the word nacho came up?
No.
So, you know, when you think nacho, you think of nacho cheese, right? Apparently, that is the, what is that term? Damn it, what's that term? From the periodic table? What are they called?
Oh, the element?
Yeah, it's pretty much like the molecular name of how they make nacho cheese.
Oh, okay.
And it just happens to spell nacho.
Oh, wow. It's not just like somebody just randomly named it or they named it after themselves. Like
Yeah.
It has an actual legit reason for being called that. That's interesting. I went to a cat lounge today. So I feel like that's why I was running a little bit late.
Oh.
Because I got up, went to a cat lounge, chilled with cats for like an hour. And then went to Costco and then came home.
Let me see. What is it? Yeah, so the sodium citrate is pretty much what makes the cheese, you know, like liquidy and stuff like that. So,
well, like for it to stay liquid.
Yeah. And sodium citrate's chemical formula is Na3C6H5O7, which is nacho when you take out the numbers.
Yeah, that worked out really well.
Yeah.
That worked out really well.
I don't know, like, my mind was blown. I was like, what? Like, yeah, it was crazy. Like, I really didn't know, like, oh, you know, just not, like, I had no idea. I'm over here fucking sounding all scientific, and I didn't even fucking know it.
It's talking about food.
Well, yeah, that was a fun fact. I
really enjoy Taco Bell's fries.
They're so good, and it just makes me sad that they're kind of like a limited type.
Yeah,
thing.
they come in, they jump in and jump out. They jump in, jump out. And then it makes me mad because, you know, I don't drive, and so I can't go to Taco Bell unless I got a ride, which is not fair because it's like right by my job. I used to walk over there.
That sucks. They don't let you go in?
So I can't even get fries. No, they haven't had indoor, like, anything for, like, the longest.
Damn, that sucks.
Only drive through.
I can't.
Wonder if when I get a scooter, can I roll through?
I think you can, as long as you're in a vehicle.
Will they count that as a vehicle? Well, the thing is, some places will let you do stuff like that and some won't. Like, I know there's a McDonald's, like, there's a McDonald's by my job, because, you know, there's McDonald's everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would do that, but I know there was a McDonald's, I forget what street that is. And I know they'll let you roll through on a bike.
Oh, yeah, you know.
But not all of them do that. I think it depends on the owner, because, you know, it's franchise, so different owners allow different things.
Yeah. I don't think I really count a bicycle as a vehicle. Like, if it was a motorcycle, you know, it's like motorized, so like.
Yeah. But if I get like a little regular electric scooter, how is that different?
What little? Wait, are you talking about like the fucking, what are those things called, the little ones that you could rent from the street?
Yeah, I want to buy one.
I don't know. To me, like, that doesn't count. Like, I'm thinking scooter, like, you know, like a fucking what is that shit called? Moped?
Oh, a Vespa?
Or Vespa or something like that. That's what I'm fucking thinking over here. Like, you have to have like a little helmet on, you know, you're sitting down. You know.
I can still wear a helmet, but I'm standing up.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I got a helmet here.
Y'all, let us know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that should count for a drive-through? Because I don't know. I'm gonna have to say no to that, Chief.
That's funny. You ready for this week's episode?
Yes, I am.
Well, this week's topic. Welcome to Item 9 Podcast. This is Kim.
And Hyra.
Back with you guys for another
motherfucking
episode.
Week. Yeah.
All right. So this week's my week.
restore the Earth's enormous velocity.
Higher.
And Kim.
Knowledge far in advance of our own.
That's a smart thing.
Contact is established. We now transmit you direct.
Idle time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific.
Oh yeah.
And I've been trying to like get this episode together for like a couple of weeks because I've been at the topic, but I just hadn't had time to like
put it together in a
get the info.
Yeah,
you know?
a little.
Because it's like two things combined that interest me. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a man named Danny Rolling.
Danny Rolling?
Yeah. He is what they nicknamed him, the Gainesville Ripper.
I have no idea who this gentleman is.
Yeah. He basically went on a 3-day rampage, 3-ish day rampage in Florida.
Ugh. Never mind, not a
so
gentleman.
Yeah, not a gentleman.
I heard what you said
Gainesville
earlier.
Ripper.
I know.
Ripper.
I did hear that, and I still called him a gentleman. Like, I'm sorry. Like, wrong term.
No.
I don't know who this fool is.
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
Oh, my God.
I mean, luckily for them, you know, it didn't last as long as it could have. Because he basically had, you know, he had all the checklists that, well, most of the checklists that you would have for, like, a serial killer.
Animal murders.
Rough upbringing. I don't know about the head injury, but that is definitely a possibility because he was born in May 1954.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was a cop.
Ooh.
In Shreveport, Louisiana. And that name just, like, it made me laugh a little bit because I swear that's one of the locations in True Blood, right? Because they're in Louisiana, and I swear that's one of the locations that they go to. Maybe. And they mention it often, Shreveport. Huh. But yeah, and so he's born there. His father did not want kids.
Oh, no.
He was abusive. He was abusive to the wife. Ugh. And then when he had these kids that he didn't want, also abusive to them.
Oh, man. Can you say trauma? One
article that I read said that Danny, the first instance of abuse that he received from his father, he had to have been about 1 because he wasn't crawling properly.
Oh my God. Wait, I feel like I know what you're talking about. Or maybe this is it just happens to a lot of these people who ended up all fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't know, but oh my
God. I think it happens to a lot. Because, like, as I'm reading, I'm like, yep, this sounded familiar. But it's because it happens to a lot of these people. But yeah, even let me get there.
It's like if they had. Yeah, it's like if they had.
He's super textbook. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, a lot of the things that he did or that happens to him are things that have happened to other serial killers or things that they have done.
So, like, pretty much if like, you know how now we have like Serial Killer 101, he's pretty much that book, and you're all like,
yeah,
Old Faithful right here.
Yeah. Like, I never seen anything that had to do with him harming small animals, but I wouldn't put it past, you know, because he checked a lot of other boxes. I wouldn't put it past him having a head injury because his father was abusive, and who knows, you know? Who knows? Like, all the articles just said he was abusive, beating the kids. It got worse when his brother was born the following year in 55. Like,
because he didn't want it anymore. He's like, this one's it. But the second one popped out. He's like, oh. Hell.
But still, my thing is, if you don't want kids, like, there are several steps that you could take. Even back in the 50s, you could have just abstained.
Kim, that is a ridiculous notion. You're going to ask this man to abstain.
You could have given those children to the church. Like, I don't know. I feel like there were options other than abusing your wife and children because you didn't want to have kids. Like, that ain't
but
it.
I feel like at the same time in the 50s, if you didn't have a wife and you didn't have kids, like, were you really part of the community though?
You're right.
So it's
right.
It's probably something like he didn't want it, but
you got to have the basics.
Exactly.
Well, what they thought were the basics back then. Now the basics are you and an animal.
Yeah,
so.
I have my dog back there. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
But yeah, and then so his mom, she tried to escape several times. I don't know if that was with the kids or without, because, sometimes people jump ship. But, time and time again, she kept coming back.
Why?
Kept coming back. And then well, I'm not going to say poor. Like, we always feel bad for them in the beginning because of their horrible upbringing. And then later they do these heinous crimes. Yeah. Danny fails the 3rd grade too many times. And then his mom has a complete nervous breakdown after that point.
Poor woman. But definitely for sure. Like, with a lot of these people, you always feel bad for them because these are kids, like, they didn't ask for none of this shit. Like, honestly, if he would have probably had a stable upbringing, home environment, the dad would have been, chill. The mom would have been, there doing her whatever it is that she's supposed to be doing. Because, there are no roles. Whatever you feel comfortable.
I mean, in the 50s, there were.
Shush, woman. I'm trying to rewrite history here. But it's just imagine what could have been if this didn't happen. Like, all these murders
could have just been a regular dude.
All this could have just
been a regular dude.
Not even have happened. In a different universe, Kim. In a different universe, this shit didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Especially since it's such a short time frame, but it's definitely a rampage. Like, it's definitely like, this ain't it.
He went out with a big bang. That's what happened.
Yeah. He was, tested or talked to by school counselors and things, and they diagnosed him with having a inferiority complex and aggressive tendencies and poor impulse control already as a kid.
How old was he?
At that time, I'm not sure. It was when he was still like school age, so it could have been, any time during his childhood.
And like between 10 to 12, maybe 12, 13.
Yeah. And so it's like already an inferiority complex, aggressive tendencies, and poor impulse control. Like, yeah, that already sounds like a bad combo. That sounds like a bad combo. Bad combo.
And this is just a kid. Like you said, like right now he's in the little can. He's ready to.
Yeah. He tried, various coping mechanisms, including music, playing the guitar, singing. Wow. But then he also picked up drugs and alcohol.
That's where they got fucked up.
Yeah, but that happened, I think, shortly after his mother tried to commit suicide unsuccessfully.
Did he find her?
They didn't say who did, so I don't think so.
But just the idea.
Just because her mental state was already like not it.
Oh yeah.
During when he's very young, so he was about, I think, 11 when he started with the coping mechanisms and stuff. I don't know when exactly the drinking started, but it had to have been between that and being a teenager during that chunk of time.
Crazy.
Yeah. Around age 14, he is caught peeping through a neighbor's daughter's window.
Uh-oh.
He tried to go to church, I guess, to help him. That didn't work out. He enlisted, and then that didn't really work out too well either in the Navy.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, he tried to listen to Navy. They didn't take him. And so he ended up in the Air Force, which is crazy. What? If you don't qualify for one of them, you shouldn't qualify for any of them. But I don't know what that means.
Girl.
And yeah, that didn't work out either. He ended up started to use acid.
Oh, he was tripping
during that time. And then at some point he married some woman. She wasn't important because I don't remember seeing her really in any of like her actual name in any of the articles. And I guess he tried to do the normal life thing.
But if you don't know what the normal life thing is, you mimic what you lived through. I'm sure she was not having the beat downs on the daily.
Yeah. By the time that he was 23, she dipped out. Oh, they were married for like 4 years. She was like, I cannot.
Hashtag respect.
I cannot. Yeah, so he turned he basically turned that into anger. He ended up raping a woman who looked like his ex-wife. No. And then he ended up accidentally killing a woman in a car accident.
You think? I think it was an accident, but he might have known what he was doing behind that wheel.
Because, I mean, a lot of his, basic serial killer, because most of them, their targets is women. It's it's funny, but it's not funny. We were talking about this at my job, where me and another one of my coworkers, because she watches, like, because, you know, like, we watch videos like Bailey Sarian and stuff and, like, listen to podcast things. And so she was telling me that she had just started watching Bailey Sarian. We were talking about one of the episodes. I think it was the Toy Box, Toy Box Killer. Yeah. And so we're talking about that. And one of my coworkers was like, why do you guys be watching that stuff? He was like, my mom does too. And I was like, being honest, like, thinking about it right now, it's because the victims look like us. And that's probably why a lot of women are into true crime and watching these things, because the victims look like us. Yeah. Most of the time.
But I also definitely think it's a very big psychological thing, because, you know, when we see things like that, I feel like we become more grateful for the things we have. Like, definitely, you know, there could be no good without evil. And you see things like that, you're like, whoa. If I was complaining
about
something.
And then, you know, sometimes these people made poor decisions.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Which pushed them into the path of the person that they got into the path of. And so it's like when I used to watch Infested and Monsters Inside Me, I'm like, how did they get rid of it? Yeah. Like, how can I prevent this from happening to me? You know, that's...
And I don't know, I feel...
Like, some of these are, like, you know, unavoidable. Like, the what was it, the Russian werepig guy?
Oh, yeah.
Him, that would have been very difficult to avoid. Yeah. That guy would have been very difficult to avoid for any woman. Like, you could have been of any economic whatever. If you was out at night for whatever reason, trying to get home, trying to get away from home, whatever, it would just been difficult for you. Very. So, but then there's other ones where it's just like, dang, if she wouldn't have went to that place and she just stayed home, she would have been fine.
Mental note: do not go there.
Yeah. So,
but also,
I mean, you gotta take notes sometimes, mental notes when you watching true crime or listening to true crime.
Yeah, and also I want to say sometimes, like you said, most of the victims are women. So I feel like we watch stuff like this. Like you said, we're watching it to learn. And they're all like, oh, well, maybe I should, if I start feeling tired when my man starts making my coffee, I should be a little suspicious.
Man, what was that?
Huh?
What was that?
I don't remember, but it just recently came out. Like, well, at least I
started because I'm like, I watched it too, because I seen that too. Yeah. And she woke up and she kept feeling that nasty taste in her mouth, right?
I don't know what happened.
Maybe we're talking about two different things. I just know
that he was in jail and she was talking about it, and they had the fucking recording with him putting I can't remember what he was putting in there, but he was trying to poison the bitch. And it's just like, you see things like that, you're like, mental note. But at the same time, mental note for anyone, because bitches be crazy too. Like, that could be your wife doing that to you too. So,
yeah.
Or
everybody has the potential to be crazy.
Exactly.
Everybody has the potential to be crazy.
So, honestly, everyone should be watching this because everyone can learn. So.
Yeah, trust no one.
Except for Fox and Scully.
Yeah. Truth is out there. So, Danny Rolling was a big guy. He was 6'2", had a decent-sized build. This is a big dude.
Kim, right now, on these days, you know, women will be flocking 6'2".
I know. They don't even look at your face when you're tall.
You just need to grow out a beard, bro.
Man, yeah. In the 2020s, you put a beard and you're tall, like, you automatically get them extra points.
Man, right now, a lot of people will be dying. Oh man.
But yeah, so basically from the late 70s to like the early 90s, Rolling is out there doing petty crimes, thefts, robberies.
That's fucking crazy. I'm sorry.
In Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, and Alabama. Like, he's just moving around, just living that crime life.
I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting. You know what? I am enthusiastic in what I was reading an article talking about what I am, because I know I interrupt a lot, but it's because I'm listening and I'm very, like, I'm engaged, you know, and I know it's very rude, but I want you to know I'm listening. But it's just crazy because, like, I know we're talking about 6'2", bitches be flocking, and there's always them bitches that like that bad boy, like, oh man, he's robbing them stores, he's gonna have...
they'd be like, did you hear Danny said he robbed a bank in Mississippi? Like,
girl, that means he's gonna be able to protect me when shit get rough. PSA, love your shorter guys and not crazy guys, because man,
I have no comment on that. Yeah,
well, let's go with not crazy.
Yeah, not crazy.
Not crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just right now. I'm just picturing all the women flocking, and it's just like, it just, we'll talk about it later. Remind me. Bitches be crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, where was I?
He's moving around. What is
He's moving
Alabama?
around doing crimes. The southerny areas. So, okay, goes to prison. He ends up, getting jobs to, he's living that crime life. So he's in and out of jail, gets jobs, gets fired.
Oh, wow.
In Shreveport, though, the bodies of 3 people are found. 24-year-old Julie Grissom, her father, Tom Grissom, and her nephew, 8-year-old Sean.
Oh, my God. Together.
They, were all killed around the time where Danny lost his last job.
What?
And he had come home. So it seems like he was upset about that, and I guess this poor family came in contact with him at the wrong time.
That sucks. Like, imagine you're just living your life. This dude's fucking pissed. You over here, I'm like, all right, let's go home, have dinner. And it's like, nah, I'll murder you guys because I lost my job. And it's like, what did I do? How does that concern me? Like,
you're like, I wasn't even a coworker. Like, who are you?
Who are you?
Man.
Oh my God, no.
He also, in the May of 1990,
I'm freaking out because there's an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And a child. Yeah, he killed a child. Also, May of 1990, around that same time, he shot his father.
He shot his
twice.
daddy? Well,
his abusive father, he shot him twice.
He had that coming.
He survived, but he ended up losing an eye.
Kim.
So he aimed for the head.
Kim. But, how is it that this innocent family of 3 gets murked? And then he finally goes after
to his abusive father, and he survives.
And all he does is lose a fucking eye. That is some fucked up shit if I've ever heard any.
Girl.
Like, I'm not saying murder is a good thing, but I'm just saying, like,
if there was a potential victim that it made sense.
Yes.
On why he attacked them.
And
yeah.
I'm a little upset.
Yeah. And then after that, he ended up stealing somebody's identity. He broke into somebody's house, stole some of their info, stole their identity, and then moved to Florida.
Identity theft is a serious crime.
Yeah, and that was late July of 1990.
Dude, so I wonder if that's why he was able to evade for a certain amount of time, because he had like a different alias or a different life.
I don't know when they connected him to that murder. Because it could have just been like they connected it later, or he confessed to it later, and then it just lined up, right?
Oh, to the identity theft?
No, before that. So the murder of the family, I don't know when that was connected to him.
Okay, got it.
Because you remember, he's someone who's, living a life of crime, so he's like constantly,
rolling around,
doing crimey things. Yeah. And so it's probably just regular for him, sometimes he gets caught, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he goes to jail, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah. It doesn't faze him.
It'd be like that. Yeah. So, summer of 1990, moves to Florida. With a new name and stuff, since he has stolen someone's identity.
Fuck.
August 24th, 1990. We have the bodies of Sonia Larson and Christina Powell.
Wait, 1990?
Who were both incoming freshmen at the University of Florida in Gainesville. He followed them home, broke into their house, was able to overpower both of them. He, I think they said, forced one of them to perform oral sex on him, raped her, murdered her, and then raped and murdered the other one.
Dude, like, I don't know, like, this kind of shit always freaks me out because, like, I'm wondering, like you said, he killed one of the friends who he raped and murdered, obviously, and the other one was still alive. Like, did she watch this happen? Like, it's just well, scary.
I always assume because in most cases they, like BTK, they bound the other one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they usually keep them separate. They didn't break down like exactly his whole thing because to be honest, since they luckily caught him before he got deep into a murdering spree.
Yeah.
Because he could have, like BTK, how he kept evolving his whole setup until he figured it out where it worked, But this guy did have some things that were already reoccurring. These women, They lived in an apartment that was in the rear of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of isolated.
Yeah.
He followed them home and, I guess realized there was nobody else around.
Yeah.
And,
those are the best ones.
Charged in there.
Yeah.
Charged in there. The thing that really got me, though, when I was reading was that he cut off the girl's nipples.
What? Why? Why?
And that is what he chose as the trophies.
Oh,
serial killers like to keep trophies, and this dude collected some nipples.
Oh, God.
I was like, I'd take a break after I read that. I was like, let me
take a pause.
Watch some TV, yeah. I was like, you cutting off nipples?
Like, no part is good, but, like, let's be realistic, women. I'm sure that shit hurt, and I'm hoping that they were dead by then, but I don't know. But even then, it's just like, I don't know. This is rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the next day, Roland followed and killed Krista Hoyt in a similar fashion, broke into her residence. Her house, I believe she was in a house, was secluded.
Mm-hmm.
All of these places, the first apartment, her house, and then the next apartment were all near wooded areas.
Yeah.
Easy to get in and get out without people seeing you. He broke in, raped her, also removed her nipples.
Motherfucker.
But then this dude, for some reason, he cut her head off and put it on a bookshelf.
What?
Trying something else out. Yeah, I didn't understand that part at all.
Oof.
At this point, because this is day 2, people who are at the University of Florida are
freaking
scared.
out. Hell yeah.
Freaking out. It's summer, so, there's probably a few classes, but not that many.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's a lot of college students in that area.
Night classes?
Yeah, very afraid.
Yeah.
Very afraid. I read some snippets of, like, I guess, people being interviewed at that time, and there was one guy who drove up to that school because his daughter went there so that he could stay with her.
That's a good dad right there.
And he pretty much was like, if they don't figure it out soon, I'm checking her out. Wow. I also read, a lot of students end up leaving school and not coming back because
you don't know.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was terrifying. Yeah, during that time, like someone is, killing people. And then the college had the issue where they were trying to decide, should we close school until it's figured out, or what if we close the school and then he goes to whoever this is goes to another school and continues. And then on the other side, the police are like, at first they're like, these obviously look like this is the work of the same person, but what if it's not? What if they're unrelated? Like, everything is happening because it's a short amount of time. Like, this all happened, within a couple of days.
Yeah, but my question is always like, he's removing nipples. That is a staple. And yes, he might have chopped off her head and put it up. That's a little different, but the nipples are still gone. And if it's something that you're not releasing to the public, then you should know that it's the same guy, because there would be no other copycat unless you let the public know he's fucking removing nipples. So I don't know why they...
And it's too early. It's not like in the Night Stalker thing where they had the shoe. Yeah. Where they didn't want to tell people because, this is reoccurring. This is straight in the beginning. So there's no way that even if they did mention the nipple thing, that immediately a copycat would the next day go and do the same thing. Yeah. Like, it's too early, know?
I don't know. Like, with me, it's always like, there's a solution, and that just means you got to escort bitches. And I think that should be on the regular, if you ask me. Like, but then I think fucking wear pig, and I'm like, wait, hold on, maybe not.
Yeah, because then I can even think about, like, the hat pin situation. Like, women want
some sense of
their freedom. Yeah. You don't want to always have to take a guy with you. You want to be able to take care of yourself. Yeah, and that's true. We just want to be able to walk around. It just be difficult.
Y'all.
It just be difficult. I don't even want to be outside at night. Like, if I had a choice, I wouldn't. But sometimes it's not an option.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I love nighttime. Like, I like to frolic out in the moonlight. Everybody, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It just sucks that for a lot of females, it's very difficult to be able just to live your life outside, and it's just like,
there's always some weirdo that's like, who's the root to all my problem? Women. Like, there's always somebody. And it's like, first of all, I don't even know you. Like, I did none of that. Because really, the root of his problem was his father. Yes. But he took it out on
women, and it's just that
women at a random college campus. Like,
it's just that power dynamic, and it's just like, can you just chill? Can you just see therapy? But I'm pretty sure therapy wasn't even a thing in the 50s, so.
Well, at this point, it's the 90s.
It's the 90s. Yeah. Isn't, like, therapy just...
This is the 90s now.
Oh, hold on. I had a question about that 90s thing. So, what year was it before when he started stealing identities? What year was that? Did you say 1940?
No, he was born in 54.
Oh, 54.
1954.
Okay.
It was in the summer, July of 1990 when he stole the identity and moved to Florida.
Oh,
July of 1990.
Got it.
So this all happens pretty quick because, boom, July, he steals the identity, moves to Florida. August, starts killing people. Like, boom. It's just like one day, it's like, he's like, I'm gonna start killing people. And then he starts doing it right after. Like, it's very...
That's crazy.
Short amount of time. Like...
Jesus. And, yeah, wow. I can't.
Yeah, and so on August 27th, 1990, the Rolling attacks Tracy Paulies and Manuel, I think it's Taboda. It's one of those where you got like another letter in there, and I'm like, do I pronounce that letter or not? But I'm going to go with Manuel Taboda. They're both 23 years old, college students. He killed Taboda while he was asleep.
Ooh.
You know, in a very... Night Stalkery type situation. You got to get rid of the guy first.
Yeah.
And then he killed Tracy. It seems like he didn't get a chance to, do his whole setup. So some people think that, I don't know if someone walked by or something, their apartment, that he was interrupted. Because it seemed like it was in the beginning. Like he hadn't cut off nipples yet or none of that.
That's crazy. Like, I wonder how they were able to obviously they caught him and I'm sure he... whatchamacallit, admitted to this or whatever. But to me, it's just crazy. Like, if he was interrupted, like, how would you know?
Well, and then the crazy thing is, before, they find out that it was him, they actually had a different suspect. His name was Edward Lewis Humphreys. He was 18 years old.
Wow. It's a young guy.
Yeah, going to the school. Well, because the thing is, what threw him on the radar was that he had... I think assaulted his grandma.
Oh, not grandma.
Oh yeah, he was in jail for beating his 79-year-old grandmother.
Bro.
And yeah, and it just happened, in a similar time frame. All of these murders happened within 2 miles of each other.
Oh wow!
Within 2 miles of the college of the University of Florida.
Sheesh.
They end up canceling classes for the week, allowing people to switch, their schedules around without consequence. It was a very rough time. And then what ended up also being an issue was the fact that, Rolling grew up with his father, who was a veteran a veteran cop. He had also learned kind of how to cover some of his tracks.
You know what? I did forget about his dad. You're right.
He had learned how to cover some of his tracks, so he ended up using duct tape and getting rid of the duct tape so that there's no fingerprints left behind, trying to use cleaning solvents to get rid of traces of semen. So he actually had done an okay job at like cleaning up his crime scenes, but the evidence, but which made it more difficult.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, and then also during this time he is also still stealing from breaking into homes and gas stations. And then he eventually gets caught for an unrelated crime.
Yeah.
He robbed a store and was caught after like a high-speed chase. And that's in September. So that's, right after.
Yeah.
Like, he moved to Florida, July, August, commits these murders, September, goes to jail.
Wow.
For a robbery.
Do they say how long he went to jail for?
That I don't. Oh, well, I think, what ends up happening is, going back to the original murder in Shreveport, he ended up being, one of the suspects for that crime.
Okay.
And then how they connected that crime to these ones was that he also had a habit of leaving the women's bodies in sexually suggestive poses.
No. So not only was he fucking cutting off nipples, beheading people, he was also positioning them.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
And so around January of 1991, and this is, months after these murders, the police, they start testing DNA of prisoners in jail. And since he was in jail during that time, they, tested his DNA, just, throwing everybody in there. Yeah. And his DNA came up similar to these Florida murders. And that's how they, matched him. And then he ends up confessing to being the Gainesville Ripper after they're like, dude, we got this DNA.
Can't deny that.
That's putting you here. And so they had enough evidence. So it's like he went to jail for the robbery, and then because he was able to be connected to these murders, he did not get out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, imagine if he wouldn't have done that robbery. Like, he could have easily just still been out in the streets and just killing people and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was definitely good timing. And then the fact that he was all about being, with the life of crime. Yeah. Still, doing these robberies and stuff. On top of, murdering people. But yeah, so it was definitely very lucky that they were able to get this DNA evidence rolling and connect everything together. Yeah. I don't know what took so long, but yeah, he ended up in jail all the way up until 2006. And then he I think it was lethal injection.
Ooh,
they took him out. Took him out 2006 in Florida.
Wow. I'm not going to cry over that one.
No.
What do they say? No point crying over spilt milk?
Man. But, okay, so the second part, the reason why I looked this case up was because I was watching a video on YouTube, and it was talking about movies based off of true stories. And, out of your, mental thought of, your mental knowledge of horror movies, are there any horror movies that seem similar to this?
Girl, you put me on the spot. I don't even remember half of the time watching a movie. So, no.
You don't remember
but
watching
at the same
movie?
time, yes.
Well, it is funny because the movie is it's not based off of him this directly, but about the fear that the community had to face. Yeah. During this time, because it's just all of us, you're going to college and everything's all chill, and then all of a sudden people are being murdered.
Yeah, but I definitely feel like this is one of the big fears that a lot of serial killer cases get. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to pinpoint, because I feel like I've seen a lot of serial killer movies that I'm just tell me. Yeah,
well. It's a slasher movie, and it's one of my favorites. The movie franchise Scream is based loosely off of the Gainesville Ripper.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and so the guy who wrote Scream, Kevin Williamson, he was inspired by the fear that the school being involved in this. Yeah. They did change it from a college to a high school in the first movie. Second movie, they're in college. But, the fear that rocked that entire town, because it's a small town. It's not a big city like we live in. So he, molded that into Scream.
Wow. That's crazy.
The screenplay for Scream, yeah.
I just...
Yeah, but, that's one of my favorite movies. And so I was like, oh, I definitely got to look into this.
It's funny because you say Scream, I think Scary Movie. And I think about...
Yeah, you got to pull it back. You got to pull it back because Scary Movie is it's too deep. Yeah. It's too deep. Because it's crazy because Scream is meant to be a parody of slasher movies. Yeah. They break the rules on purpose. Normally in slasher movies or horror movies, the person who runs outside survives, but the person who runs up the stairs doesn't, and so they do the opposite. They even to the point where they had in the marketing for the movie, Drew Barrymore was the biggest star in that movie, and they marketed her heavily. They had her all over the movie posters, all over the trailer, and then she gets spoiler alert, which I should have put in the beginning of this. She immediately dies in the beginning, and I love when movies do that, because I guess Alien, the same thing happens in that, because we were just talking about Alien, weren't we?
We were yesterday.
Because because I forget who it is. It's either the guy who's the captain or it's the guy who, spoiler alert, the guy who dies first was the bigger movie star at that time. And Sigourney Weaver was, an unknown at that time. And so, of course, they show all these other stuff, the crew shots and all the happy moments. Yeah. And then, boom, he's killed off at the beginning of the movie. Boom, she's a new star of the movie. We follow her around. Like,
but think about it. That's smart. Because if you kill the star, you don't got to pay that big paycheck. Yeah. He only paid for what they were in.
Man, spoiler alert again. The movie Life, the one that's in space, not the funny comedy prison one. Life, they had... I haven't seen that in the trailer. It's so good. It's like the scariest movie I've seen in a long time.
Really?
They're in space. They find an organism out there. And it's like, it's so like, you know, how things would be in the beginning, where it's like, you know, they're at the space station and then like there's like a contest and then this school wins. This elementary school wins, and then they get to name the organism, and they name it Calvin after the name of the school that they go to. And so the organism's name is Calvin, and they're like, you know, testing on it. And I forget why it gets upset.
Calvin gets mad?
Yes. And so when if you look up the trailer, they show you Jake Gyllenhaal and they show you Ryan Reynolds. Those are the two biggest stars in that movie, and they show them a lot, especially Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds dies. He's the first person that gets murdered by Calvin. The first person that gets murdered by Calvin. I think Calvin crawled in his mouth, which made me like panic. Because it was an organism, and then I think, did they put fire on it or something? Like testing it to see how it would respond, and it got bigger. And then it freaked out, and...
that sucks.
I felt like I was going to throw... Like, I don't like when stuff crawls down into people.
Hold on. Talking about crawling into people. You don't like it coming out through the mouth. Did you see, what is it? Sliver or Slither?
I think so.
Slither?
Yeah. And he gets in the bathtub with homegirl, right?
Yeah. And there's also a part where someone's on the toilet and...
But that movie's gross.
That movie is
movie's more gross than scary. It's more gross than scary.
But
I haven't seen that since probably like middle school or high school. That movie is more gross than scary.
This happens in a lot of movies, I want to say, where someone's on the toilet. Isn't
there a scene where like the organisms have kind of like taken over and they're like getting inside people's bodies, and then they're like, the people can connect and turn into a blob, right? And they all turn into a giant blob at some point. Because I remember a naked guy running and jumping into the pile. I remember that. And they was all like, ugh.
No, it's just like, I don't know. I'm sure this happens in a lot of movies where little things end up in the toilet. Like, I think it happens in Snakes in a Plane or something like that. Yeah. It happens a lot. And
stuff do slip through the toilet. Yeah.
And I don't...
The wrong way.
Yes. And I don't know if anyone else has this habit, but whenever I go to the bathroom, I always check the toilet first. Oh, yeah. Gotta make sure. Yeah. Gotta look. Gotta double check. I even flush once. Like,
if it's an unfamiliar toilet, just in case.
No, even my toilet. Like, you never know. I'm like, you know, when you go, you flush it, you let it go, and then you just use it real quick because it's still pulling out, and then you're like, all right, cool, I'm safe. Like, it's just,
because that's not where you want anything foreign to go up.
I also would not like anything like, you know what I mean? But like, until I get a Hannibal mask, like, I don't think I'll be safe. So, like, yeah.
They gotta start putting nets on the holes in the toilet. A metal net or something.
Oh, man. I'm just... Well, I was talking about, like, swallowing stuff. But, yes, a net would be nice. Maybe in the future, we can have, like, one of those things where, like, only things go in, nothing can come out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I'd get scared because, like, if it's like an invisible force shield and then something hits it, it goes dunk. I'm like, oh shit! Like, I'm jumping off that bitch. Like, I think I would die. I think I'd have a heart attack and you just find me like ass out and everything. It's just like, what happened? Little thing fucking went back into the toilet.
What is it? What job is that? What is that? A civil engineer? Like what Saul wanted to be?
Yeah. I was gonna say Dale, but yeah, Saul.
So, like, whoever's out there that's, you know, an aspiring civil engineer.
So kids can take shits and stuff.
Exactly. Just remember that we are slightly afraid of new toilet inventions, but we also are encouraging you to make these so that the toilets are real safe.
Please.
So,
like,
think about both of those things when designing new toilets.
How do we end up here?
Man, well, that's not about that.
Wow.
That was my run through of the Gainesville Ripper and how it loosely inspired the writer of Scream to create the Scream franchise.
I'm still on this whole nipple.
Happy. Yes.
This nipple extraction. Why did I grab my boobs like that?
You're protecting them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, imagine if they didn't catch him. Say if he wasn't doing all this crime. Say if he did get like a steady regular job, but then continued to murder people in the Florida area. Because remember, he did steal someone's identity. So he could have been, out there living as his new name, get a new job, which ended up being stable. And then, he gave up that life of regular crime, but then continued to do these murders around campus. He could have even spread out to, neighboring campuses.
Yeah.
Other colleges in the area, depending on what the job was that he got. He could have had like a whole collection of nipples.
I can't. And I'm just so crazy because he was evolving when he definitely cut this young lady's head off. And to me, it's like, what happened? Why her? Like, did she fight back too much? Like,
I think
what
she's the
happened?
only one that was by herself. So maybe he just had more time. Because the first two girls were roommates. They were together. And then in the last one, those people were together. So she's the only one that was by herself. I think she's also the only one that was in a house.
Oh, so he had a lot more privacy.
So I think, he had more time. So I think he was just trying things out. Serial killers in the beginning, they try out stuff to see, what their
thing is.
Like what their order of operations is going to be with the murders. Because, some of them, like BTK put a lot of thought into it, and then some of them, like the Night Stalker, don't. And they just get in there and they just be killing people and do what they got to do.
Yeah,
yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I'm one of the people who I want to live in a secluded area. Like I don't want to be bothered. I don't want people like if I want to go out to my backyard, fucking titties out and shit like that. I want to be able to do that without anyone fucking watching me. Maybe the fucking Yeti.
Yeah, let me know ahead of time so that I don't come to your house while you out frolicking in the moonlight naked. Let me know so I can put that on my calendar so I don't go to your house.
So like, I want to do that, but at the same time, I don't want to get murdered because I want to frolic outside with tits out. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like it's just.
Well, you got to get you a very good security system.
Oh, I got a Glock. I'm ready. Locked, top, and loaded. Let's go.
No, besides that, you gotta. I'm talking a gate. It's got to be a good gate, gated.
I'm gonna have
alarms. Remember, you're gonna have that giant dog that you're not gonna be able to
train him. No, I'm gonna train him. That's the point. He's gonna be trained. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so you definitely gotta layer your security if you want to be able to frolic naked in your backyard.
Fuck, what is it that Hannibal said? A Chianti. He's like Chianti. He just knows. Go, fucking bite the shit out of that.
That's gonna be the code word to attack.
Yeah, hold on. Let me look up what it is. Hannibal.
Is it Chianti?
I think he says it wrong.
And some fava beans.
Like there you go, fava beans and a nice Chianti. Maybe I should say fava beans. I don't know. Fava beans and Chianti.
You might as well just call it a Hannibal Lecter, where you teach the dog to go straight for the intruder's balls or something.
Straight for the liver. He loves liver.
Man.
But yeah,
I can't wait to see you with this giant dog. I'm looking forward to that one day.
Thank you. I am too.
This giant dog that stands above you.
I gotta look up to it. Gotta look down to me.
You can be like, no. When you're with me, you stay down on all fours.
You lay down. You're down. We're at eye level.
You're gonna look like a Pokemon trainer.
I choose you. I don't even know what I'm gonna call him. Tiny.
No, we're gonna find a cute Pokemon name. We're gonna go through. We're gonna find one of those Pokemon that looks like a dog, a giant dog or something.
A giant dog.
And we're gonna pick one of those, and that's what you're gonna name it.
Call it Pikachu. Go Pika.
You know what? If you are a big Pokemon fan and you know the names of these Pokemon that would be a great name for Hyra's future dog, let us know. Messages. Hit us up on Instagram. Drop the name. Tell me what kind of Pokemon it is. What like element type it is.
Don't give me
so we can do
Growlithe.
some research. Help us name her future dog.
Oh no, man.
Because Pokemon is having like a resurgence now.
Oh,
like
Pokemon's had a resurgence, baby. No, like my favorite, like even to this day, my favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur. I know that this is such a fucking pleb thing, whatever. I don't care. I fucking love Bulbasaur, but maybe I should. We'll let the people name my
people
my pet.
decide.
Both.
Let the people decide.
Yeah.
But no, I'm saying that it's having a resurgence because, you know, there's people who've, you know, always been down with Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, all of a sudden, everybody wants to collect the cards and stuff again. People are
I went to McDonald's already.
Want to play the games
some.
and stuff again. You see that's crazy.
I got two.
And then
I got two.
At my job,
Meals.
we sell cards, and every truck day, people is coming in. Did you guys get Pokemon cards? Like, man, I don't know.
It's that nostalgia, you know what I mean? We're missing that right now. We're fucking locked up and they won't let us out.
It's more than that. I think the fact that, you know, people have been locked up, they're finding some different hobbies.
Yeah.
And Pokemon just happened to be one of those things that people picked up.
Well, also, let's not forget there's a new open world Pokemon game coming out for the Switch.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Open world? Like I can go outside while I'm playing it?
Yeah, like you can actually like you out there doing whatever you. Well, obviously, I'm sure they're gonna have
kind of like
Pokemon
Pokemon Go, but for the Switch.
Yeah, but like
Oh.
more like the legend, the Hyrule Zelda game. So it's like that. I don't know. People are really excited. This is what they've been wanting their whole lives. People are hyped. I'm happy for them. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. The only Pokemon game I ever played was Pokemon Platinum, and I had gotten like way far in that game before like the cartridge disappeared on my Nintendo DSi. But Pokemon's cool.
I don't remember which. I had it for the Game Boy Color, but I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was like Pokemon Blue or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Before, like way before Platinum.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting Animal Crossing. I was gonna tell you, did you want to get it? Because I think we can communicate with each other in the game. I'm like into this, like we can both play thing.
I know. I don't know. Animal Crossing hasn't really called out to me. I haven't tried it. It hasn't been.
You know what? It didn't to me either because I feel like the space that Animal Crossing is filling for other people has already been filled by The Sims for me.
Definitely.
But that's the thing that The Sims is missing, to be able to play with other people who play The Sims.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And so Animal Crossing, you know, we both have our own little islands and we can visit each other.
Yeah, well, you know what? I already do like real life labor for other people. I don't need to, in my game life, be doing this.
No, you're a landlord. You're a landlord.
I'm good. I'll try it. Like, I'll definitely try it, but I don't know if I necessarily want to buy it. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Do they have a demo version?
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely like don't get me wrong, I've thought about it, but at the same time, like I look at it and I'm like, no. I really
see when I look at it, I'm like, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe one day I'll drink enough and I'll just buy it and I'm like, all right, bitch, let's go.
So one of these days when we're recording and I see you getting real hype real quick, I'm like, you know what would be great? If you bought Animal Crossing right now.
I would do it. Don't do that to me. I would so do it because when you're drunk, like, it's just like right now, I'm not even
Everything
drunk.
Sounds like
I only
a good
got
idea.
one. I only got one.
Yeah.
And I texted Carlos if I could get another one, but he hasn't responded to me.
See, different drinks be having different effects. Because what was that? It was either last week or the week before that. Whatever drink you had, I was like, dang, she gone.
No, because I had already had, I had like
swooped her
two,
up real
I think I had like
fast.
2 of those and I hadn't eaten.
Yeah.
Today I ate and I've only had one. So I'm good. Like I'm fine.
So one of these you forgot to eat days is the day that I'm gonna
happens
talk
all the
you
time.
to get
Yeah.
Animal Crossing.
And oh god, That sounds like it could definitely happen really soon, and I'm like, oh god.
Man, all right. Well, this week's oracle card is number 4, falling, the unknown, descent, momentum, change. We've been getting like low digit numbers for the last couple of weeks. Single digit numbers. That's interesting. All right, so number 4. It says the in-between, the end of what once was, the letting go of who you were and rebirth into new life. Unknown outcomes, complete immersion in the process of change.
Wow.
It seems positive.
Yeah.
Like, you're falling, but in a good way. It's changing. There's an evolution.
Definitely. Yeah.
Moving on to the next phase.
You guys definitely let us know, because I honestly want to hear from people when we read these oracle cards. Like, does any of this apply to you? Tell us, and how. Because I know sometimes we'll read these cards and I'll just be like, bro, are you talking to me?
Directly? Like,
yeah.
Hello?
So, like, I just get curious. Like, please let us know if this...
Let us know if it's completely wrong. If you're like,
tell us.
That was not it. That was not it.
I'm like, I rebuke that one.
Let
That's
us
not
know.
for me.
Let us know.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we'll read some of these cards and it's not meant for us. Maybe it's meant for somebody else. Maybe it's not meant for you. Maybe it's meant for someone you know. So, let us know, you guys.
Most definitely.
Let us know, because sometimes I get some goosebumps. I'm like, man, leave me alone. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Oh no.
We need more Happy Meals for these Pokemon cards. You know that they have a limit on them? They say you can only get...
I bet.
A lot of the McDonald's I've seen have like a little paper saying limit 5.
Yeah, because I heard in the beginning people was buying like all of them.
Yeah, and they don't sell
And
the
it was
toys by
causing a
themselves
problem.
now.
Yeah, and it was causing a problem. So
I'm like, come on, you guys, think of the children. The children.
They said forget them kids.
They forget some people don't have kids and it's for our happiness. Thank you guys for joining us again this week. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, it's always awesome to talk to you guys and let you guys know what we've learned. It's completely fun, and we hope you guys...
we thought was interesting.
Well, I've also, like, this is some knowledge that I'm not going to... Like, I think I'm going to remember this, like, partly in my head, and I'm always going to be like, ooh, that one thing.
Oh, yeah, the nipples.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to stay.
That's not going to go anywhere.
That's definitely going to stay.
For a while.
It's like, how many... You know what? Write in. Let us know if you know other serial killers that have stolen nipples. Because I was like, of all the things you could have cut off, there are a lot of other things that were easier to cut off. But he was taking nipples out.
Well, there is another one who's cut off nipples. They had like a nipple belt and stuff like that.
A nipple? Wait.
Yeah, you know who it is.
The guy who inspired the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Yeah, I forget
movies?
what that dude's name is. If y'all remember who that is, please let us know. We can look it up, but I don't remember.
Yeah. It's always fun when you guys talk to us.
Yeah, for real. Well, thank you guys for joining us this week. This is Hyra.
And Kim.
And don't you ever forget your bee's knees.
Item 9.
Bye.
Bye.